assume now that we have 100% is the fault of somebody other than you, okay? And you have a car crash case and you are injured, what's the value of that case? We have to start with the building blocks of determining value, and that is, what are the reasonable medical expenses, right? Then we have to say, on top of the reasonable past medical expenses, what are the likely reasonable future medical expenses? And then we have to ask the same question about wage loss. What is the wage loss that's been incurred to date? What's the likely future wage loss? Do I have other out-of-pocket expenses? That's another part of our building block. And you add all of those up, and that serves as a basis for your claim. And you say, okay, those are called my economic losses. Now, what about non-economic losses? How are those determined? There are 3 ways that we calculate the non-economic losses to figure out the value of a case. One, we have to say, how bad is the harm? How long did the harm last? And how interfering is that harm with what I'm trying to accomplish in my life, both professionally and personally? We can start to build the value of a case by looking at those items. Then you have to say, all right, are there caps on damages that might limit my ability to recover? And there are caps. There are caps, government caps, on what you can sue a government for, and then there's generalized caps on damages that might impact the value of those non-economic harms. But starting together to look at all of those items, and then saying, what are juries doing in our marketplace? Because ultimately the jury is the determiner of value. A judge doesn't determine value in most of these cases. It's the jury that's determining the value. So if the jury is determining the value, what have other juries done in the county where my case is going to be tried, right? There's a big difference between counties. There's a big difference between having a case in Colorado and having a case in Chicago, depending on where you are in Chicago. Because juries have different belief systems that impact what happens in those cases. If you add up all those things and you say, here are my economic losses, my wage loss, my medical expenses, and here I've got significant non-economic damages, right? I've got damages that are going to last forever, causing significant pain and are highly interfering, but the at-fault driver only has $50,000 of insurance coverage. Then we have to talk about a different issue, which is not what the value is, but what's the collectible value. So we look at the totality of all of those things, and together, working with our clients, we can build what we believe is a reasonable value for the case.